Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Be Mindful. My name is James. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for choosing this channel. It's absolutely appreciated. Today we're going to continue the investigation into awakening and your direct experience. Today we're going to be looking for where am I? It also can be classified as what am I, who am I. Basically what we're going to do is look in the I thought, and we're going to look at the label of the I thought, how we label everything that we do within our direct experience. And it really give you when you're looking into this direct experience, you'll start to see that there's just a thought of an I that's labeling everything. And you can start to see that thought, it's just a thought. It's not really the true experience of yourself. um, as we label almost everything, whenever it comes to seeing, touching, smelling, hearing, all of our senses, there's an I thought that goes along with it. And what you want to do is directly investigate this thought each time that it arises within your consciousness. I'd say probably about 90% of the thoughts that you have as a human being usually has an I thought associated with it. I do this, I do that. Almost everything that we do, we label it as an I, as there's an I, a separate entity or a separate self that's doing the action. Um, it's basically thoughts that label the experience of it. And none of these thoughts, none of the direct experience really belongs to a separate self. The experience happens whether the thought's there or not. And upon awakening, once one does have an awakening, this becomes it becomes very clear that that was just a thought upon the experience. But it takes directly looking this, it's a really thin line of belief, of having a belief that this is true. You really have to look to have the direct experience. You have to really look at each thought that comes in your mind, about your direct experience. So throughout your day, you really want to look into each thought that arises whenever you're doing things. So basically, what you do, like say you move your hand like this, and you can try this. These are great exercises that you can try. Move your hand like this, and watch your mind, watch your thoughts say, "I'm moving my hand." Now, would your hand be moving without that thought? That's what you want to look into. Would your hand move without the I thought? Or say for seeing, when you're looking around your environment, say you look at your wall, notice the thought that says, I'm looking at the wall. Is that true? Is there an I looking at the wall? Is there a separate self looking or seeing anything? You want to look into your direct experience and investigate the I thought that's telling you that I am looking at anything. Whenever it comes to hearing, whenever you're hearing things within your environment, whenever you're hearing cars go by the road, whenever you're hearing anything within your direct experience, look for the thought that says, I hear. I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. Directly investigate whether or not that thought is true. Would there still be hearing without that thought? Would you still hear without the I thought? Is there an actual I or a separate entity that is hearing anything? Or is hearing just happening? Same thing with tasting. Whenever you're eating, you're going to have the thought that says, I'm eating this, I'm eating that. If you're eating a pizza, I'm eating a piece of pizza, I am eating a piece of pizza. Is there just eating, or is there an I or a separate self that's eating the piece of pizza? These are the direct experiences, the direct investigation that you want to put forth. This is where you start to see that there's no separate self, that there's not a separate self to be found anywhere within direct experience. Um, all of your senses are all available. Each time that you do something with any of your senses, investigate the thought that arises in your consciousness that says, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. Notice within your direct experience that the action is taken, and then the I thought arises and tries to take ownership. That is what you're looking for. That will, you will begin to see that this thought is basically an overshadow of the action. The action occurs, and then the I thought comes in within your mind, within your consciousness, and tries to take the ownership of the action. You cannot do things by just thinking. So, say you're thirsty and you need a drink. You cannot sit here and think to yourself that I want to take a drink and therefore you take the drink. The action has to occur. So just by thinking that I'm thirsty, I'm going to take a drink, you can't close your eyes and imagine yourself taking a drink of something and it quenches your thirst. The action has to happen. So therefore, any thought of any experience is not true. Thoughts do not classify action. It does not clear act. It does not, it's not the true holder of the action. The experience takes place and then the I thought arises and takes ownership. So for example, I'm going to grab a drink, take a drink. Right after I take a drink, there's a thought that tries to say that I took a drink. The taking the drink happened already. And then the thought arose that I took a drink. Well, the action already took place. So how is there an I or a separate self that did anything? Drinking just happened. This is the type of direct investigation, direct inquiry that you want to do with this. You want to do this with each and every one of your senses, all of your direct experience on a daily basis. Your thoughts will, like I said, it will arise. The I will try to take ownership of the experience after the action has already taken. You can do this with walking. You can do this with moving your arms and hands. If you type on a keyboard at a computer, you can actually witness yourself typing without a single thought. Action arises, action happens, and a thought arises within your mind that tries to take ownership. This is what you directly inquire. This is what you directly investigate. Is the I thought within your consciousness, within your mind, that's trying to take ownership of the direct experience that's happening. This will lead one to see that there is not a separate self or a separate entity doing anything. The direct experience is happening without the thought. The thought is not needed. The I thought or the separate self is not needed for action to occur. Now, what some things that look out for whenever you're doing this type of investigation is doubt. The mind will doubt this. You have to look out for the doubts within your mind. It's very important that you notice anything that comes within your mind that's doubting the experience, because you will get doubt from your mind. Your mind will say, no, that's not true. I'm doing this. Look into that thought. Where's the I in that thought? What's the doubt? Is it really happening? Stick with your direct experience. Stick with what's actually happening. It's very important. Our minds are label machines. We label everything. We label, just look at your name. I've talked about this before. Your name comes from a thought. So therefore, my name is James. That came from a thought from my parents before, whenever I was born. How could that be my name? How could that be truly who I am? Because it's just a thought from my parents. My name could have been anything. You could change my name to anything. I would still be here and still be breathing. That's another thing, breathing, breath. Look at your breathing. Are you actually controlling your breathing? At any time during your direct experience, when you're communicating with someone, are you paying attention to your breath at all? Nope. You're just breathing. It's happening all on its own. So are you really in control of anything? Look at that. Directly inquire into that. Directly investigate into that. Your thoughts. Look at your thoughts, especially in meditation. Meditation is a great place to do this. Whenever do you choose the thoughts that arise in your mind? Or do thoughts just appear? Are you really in control in what arises within your consciousness, within your thoughts? Directly inquire, directly investigate that. You will notice and see that thoughts just arise, especially the I thought. They just appear. You have no control. Same thing as the sun arising and setting, the moon appearing, days going by, everything just happens. Investigate, directly inquire, look into this, but you have to be careful to look out for your beliefs and look out for the doubt because it will arise. You have to look out for that. You cannot believe anything the mind says. You have to stick with direct experience. It's very important. Investigate all of your senses to come to the conclusion that there's no a separate self. And then you also, within meditation, a good way to do your meditation is look for yourself. Look for the eye. Look for the one that's looking through your eyes. Most people have a sense of self behind the eyes. Some have it within the body, within the lower belly. That's fine. Wherever your sense of self is, whenever you're doing your meditation, just close your eyes and look for yourself. Where is this I within your direct experience? Can you find the I? Look for the separate self. If there is an actual separate self that's within your experience, you should be able to see it. You should be able to find the separate self whenever you're looking for it. This is with direct experience or with meditation. Remember, it's so important to stay with direct experience. It's very important. Watch your actions and pay very close attention to the thought that arises that attaches an I, a separate self, onto each and every action that you take. Notice that the thought arises after the action has already taken place. Right there should help you see that the action occurs and then the I thought appears. Therefore, that action could take place without that thought. And that alone should help you start to see that there's not a separate self or separate entity here that does anything. Everything just happens. There's no one here experiencing it. Everything is just happening on its own, life's in flow. And this is very liberating once you're able to see this. This is awakening. This is directly investigating your identity. I'll try to put together a guided meditation that might help with this too. This is a very, very good inquire, very, very good direct experience for someone on this path. Start to look into every one of your senses, watch the action occur, and look for the thought that arises that takes ownership of the action. Remember to notice that the I thought is attached to the action after the action has already occurred. Another example, move your hand. You can move your hand and then watch the I thought become attached. Take a bite of food, watch the I thought become attached. Directly inquire, directly investigate, look out for doubt, look out for your beliefs, investigate anything that comes up within your mind. It's very important. All right, I hope this helps. This is how you directly inquire into your direct experience and look for the I, search for the I. Where is the I? Good luck. Hope this helps. Namaste.